Hello, and welcome back to DanPlays for a special Halloween episode. Well, I don't know how special it actually is, but anyway, camera situated there. Um, I wanted to do theoretically a couple of Halloween games, horror themed games, various descriptions. Um, it turns out I didn't actually have time to record anything until now, so this will be the only one that'll actually be posted probably before Halloween. I still might do a couple more in like early November. Um, I don't have like a codified list or anything because that never seems to work out. But kind of penciled in. I had like a few games uninvited on NES to complete the Mac Venture trilogy. That would be a good one to do. Maybe Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Maybe like Drax Night Out on NES, which was an unreleased game that I have a prototype repro cartridge of. So I might do one or more of those. Every year I try to do like a Castlevania 1 playthrough, and I've never actually beaten it, so maybe this will be the year. I don't know if I'll do that on camera or not. Just do that on my own time. But anyway, for this Halloween special, the one that'll actually be out before Halloween, probably, this is Haunting, starring Polterguy. Who's Polterguy? Well, he's apparently a radical ghost. Totally not Beetlejuice. He actually has more of a punk look. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, this is the only game that Polterguy ever starred in, even though he got top billing. But yeah, this was 1993 by Electronic Arts, made by one of their in-house studios at the time. And that is, for you youngins, that is kind of interesting because this was still from the era where EA was not the faceless corporate juggernaut, kind of soulless company that it is now. At this time, EA was really still more like almost like a punk rock company. Like they did a lot of like really interesting stuff. They really pushed their developers by name. They would always put the names of the people that made their games right on the boxes. Um, yeah, it was very different Electronic Arts than what we know today. And this is an interesting one. Kind of hard to say exactly what genre this game is. You can see the gameplay from the demo mode here. Basically, the whole idea is that there's this basically family of assholes that you are trying to scare out of their house. The manual and I think the intro at some point kind of talks about, and I think I'm actually am I in the game already? Maybe not. Um, my controller didn't seem to be responding. I'll just turn it off and turn it back on. But yeah, the story talks about basically, I guess the father owns a company that makes skateboards that are designed by robots and not people who actually understand skateboarding. So it's actually a really ahead of its time story because it kind of has implications of current debates over like AI and stuff. Um, but I guess skateboarders got hurt by his company's skateboards. I don't know if Polterguy in living form was one of them, and that's why he's Polterguy now. But anyway, Polterguy has a vendetta against this family, the father and the mother and their two bratty kids. So he's going to scare them out of their house. Every time he does that, they buy a new house, of course. So there's, I think, four houses in total in the game. And basically, you go around trying to scare them by activating different traps and items, and that's kind of the main part of the gameplay. If you run out of Ecto power, you go into a dungeon where you have to collect Ecto to get out of it, and if you run out there or take too much damage in the dungeons, then the game ends. There's no continues. So I've never beaten this. I'm not like an expert on this game or anything. I haven't actually played it in a long time, but it's a neat little game. So yeah, might as well get into it, right? There they are, those sleazy sardines in their snazzy new helm. Looks peaceful, huh? I assume this is what Poltergeist voice sounds like. Well, I've got a radical surprise for him. Yeah, that's me, Poltergeist. Green dude hanging on the left. So, we can kind of skip the intro here. maybe not. We might want to see this part. Dad reading the paper, kids having a food fight. All right, so now we're into the game. So there's a map screen that shows you where the family members are, and one of them's supposed to be in this room, apparently. Oh, there he is. All right, so the father's in this room. So some traps you just kind of jump into and out of to activate, and then when the character goes close enough to them, it scares them. There's others that you can kind of go into and lay wait until they're looking at the right time and activate it like at the right time for maximum scaring. And then there's some that you can actually kind of control a little bit. And like that one, I don't think it's close enough to really get the full effect of that that opened in the floor. A lot of the fun in this, though, is the shark comes out of the fish tank. A lot of the fun in this is just kind of seeing what each item does. In a way, it's maybe almost a little bit like Date Everything, which is, I think, from this year. I think that's pretty much brand new. Um, but I just played through that recently. And like half the fun is just seeing what all the household items turn into when you turn them into dateable human form. Um, I find it's best to kind of stick to one family member for as long as possible to try to scare them out of the house. Because if you do leave a family member without doing anything to scare them, they actually start to calm down and you kind of have to start over. Right, so this chainsaw you can actually kind of control. Of course, now we ran out of the room, so I'm kind of stuck in the chainsaw. So I shouldn't have. I kind of jumped the gun in activating that, I guess. So yeah, there's four houses, each of which you have to scare each of the four family members out of. The green meter down at the bottom is my ectometer, so that is starting to get close to the bottom already, so I'll probably end up in the dungeon for the first time. Yeah, it's rollable craft there, and that scared him out of the room. Huh. He didn't. He didn't drop any ecto. When they run out of the rooms, they're supposed to like poop out some extra ecto for you to use. And I think there's only certain rooms that they can actually run out of the house from. But that's the end goal, is to get them to run out of the house. That's a cool one. Skeleton pops out of the like drop front secretary. That's what you call that kind of desk. So this is the dungeon. You kind of like if you run out of ecto power, you go to hell, and you have to run around and collect drops of ecto to get out of it. You can take damage. If you take too much damage or miss too much ecto in these, you get game over. And that like little TV in the bottom left, the picture in that gets smaller as you take damage. So it does take a while, but this is where you can actually end up in the game in the dungeon scenes. There, I missed a drop of ecto. You do also have some spells, which are basically like special items. One refills your ecto meter, one can distract the dog, which I don't think shows up in the first house. I don't think the dog shows up till the second house. The dog can kind of, I think it summons monsters if it sees you, and it can kind of hang you up. It doesn't like directly damage, I don't think, but sometimes you want the dog to be distracted. All right, so yeah, there's the polterguy dance. When you do come out of the dungeon area, it does also reactivate all the traps in the room you're in. Of course, it was kind of a moot point there since he's running out of the room already anyway. And the animations are great in this. They clearly had a lot of fun making this game. And the end goal was to eventually get them to run out of the house entirely. And again, I think it's probably best to kind of stick to one family member. All right, so yeah, he ran out of the house. So now we can find another family member and try to get rid of them. So this way, the map is not as hard to follow as it looks. It's pretty much self-explanatory. Actually, we could go up here, and it looks like the mother's in that room, or not. Yeah, I guess we moved while we were moving. There she is. They are activated. That's a little lame. Here, just jumps up. That, on the other hand, the meat like turns into a severed head. That's pretty scary. Like a ghost cat comes out of the freezer. What do you think of that? Yeah, you didn't notice Tabby the Tabby's next to me here. Looked like she ran this way, but I guess she ran this way. There she is. All right, where'd she go? Occasionally, and again, I don't think that happens in the first house, but in the second house, you'll start to occasionally get like a flying kind of Medusa head looking thing that'll try to chase you, and you can actually fight that with kicks. That reminds me, the couch thing reminds me of Salvador Dali's Mae West couch that looks like a giant pair of lips. Alright, so we got rid of the mother. Seem to drop any ectoplasm on the way out there. Strange. Oh, there's some. Sometimes it does kind of get hidden behind furniture. Um, so the daughter should be in the room south of here, I think. I guess there's only one southern exit. So I think, yeah, here we go. So this, yeah, that's like her bedroom, I guess. Some of them are just weird, like the stereo turns into a transformer for no reason. All right, let her go. She went to the living room. Says she's in here. Oh, there she's like hidden behind the door. Couch again. Let's do this painting in the background, like a premiere maybe. No, ran out. We're doing pretty good. Let me see. Do I have? I don't have the spell that lets you refill your ectometer, unfortunately. Oh, anyway, we have to go to the room one more time. I guess that's all right. So Timmy, I think that's the name the son is in his bedroom. Here. Going through some of the doors can be a little tricky. Guitar gonna do. Yeah, incidentally, I have less facial hair than I wanted to have. Um, I was gonna. It's funny because for like 27 years I was never a beard guy, and grew it in and like 2 months ago, and actually got to like it, so I kept it. But I went to trim it last night, and kind of had a mishap with the trimmer, so the only way to really salvage it was to kind of start over. So I kept as much length as I could, which is not much. Um, but yeah, I'll just have to regrow it because I did like having the beard for once. So I did want to stick with it. I didn't intend to go clean shaven again at this time, at this juncture. Um, but yeah, I guess that's the good thing with hair. At least it does grow back, well, except when it doesn't. But yeah, hopefully by Thanksgiving I'll be back to a new normal. But yeah, it's like it's funny, 27 years I didn't have a beard for any appreciable length of time. I finally grew it in, and now it's like it doesn't feel right not to have it. Yeah, it was unfortunate, but hopefully I'll grow them back in soon. I think he peed himself there. The guitar turning into a snake. That kind of reminds me of the story Carlos Santana had from the original Woodstock '69. Where if you watch the video, like in the Woodstock movie or just the video of Santana playing at Woodstock, he's playing his guitar and he's like really like struggling to hang on to it. And the story he gives is that he was on like so much. I think he was using mescaline, and he was like so out of his mind on that he thought his guitar was turning into a snake, so he was trying to hang on to it. I wonder if that's what they were thinking of when they did the guitar snake thing here. All right, so where did he go? Kind of got stuck in. Some of the traps you can control. I think I may have said that already, but yeah, some you can kind of control, and some just your arm and then they happen automatically when the character's looking at them. Oh, that room. There he is. All right, there. Here. Oh, we'll do the floor first. I think he peed himself again. You do get a little more attitude in this because this was Genesis, even though it's pre-ESRB. I actually have the box. This is an old Blockbuster copy, and I have the box. I don't have the manual, so if I need it, I have the manual actually pulled up on my phone. Um, but yeah, even though it's pre-ESRB, Genesis still had a little bit more edge to it than what you were getting on Nintendo systems at this point. So like you do get a little bit of blood in this. It's not like overly gory, but like they do show blood for a few of the traps. Um, so yeah, there's a little bit more freedom. This is BRC rated, which that was Sega's like in-house rating system before the ESRB was established. This is an MA13 game, which is like the equivalent of T15 on the ESRB system. All right, so he went to the living room, which is, I believe, that's the room he can leave from. So hopefully we can scare him out of the house here, if he's still here anyway. How did he get all the way down there? Like while we were on the way to, that's the one problem. They can move around on the map, like when you're between rooms. So, kind of room he went into. Oh, that's just his bedroom. Okay. Activate the guitar again. We may not need to. Oh, he actually has a door in his room. Huh. Even setup. Like the side door of the house is just in the kid's bedroom. Victory dance. He takes his own hat off and spikes it like a football. That's funny. Actually reminds me that would be another good game to do for Halloween. Decap attack on it. Genesis. I even had the Genesis set up, so I could do that one. But yeah, that's the one where you play as the mummy that you can throw your head and like his main head is actually in his chest, and he like can headbutt out with that. Um, but you can also get other heads that you put on your shoulders, and you can take them off and throw them for the titular decap attack. After the way they dissed me, man. Wait, where'd they go? These homies get dissing my ghost. Why do they got a front? Alright, so they bought another house, but we followed them into it. So basically, each house is a little bigger, and there's some more hazards. Like, I think this is the first house where the dog shows up, and I think the heads that kind of chase you. So, I believe between levels, you always have to do a dungeon area. That letter D is one of the spells. I'm not sure which one offhand. I'll have to look at the menu again when we get to it. That letter E spell also. And do the Polterguy dance. Alright, so I think the daughter's in the starting room here, which is like in the middle of the house. Oh, I don't see her. Oh, there she is. Um, I guess that's like a projection TV, right? It looks like one of the aliens from They Live on it. They put glasses on and like the guy with the like newscaster look. I think he was a newscaster actually. Like he's an alien but still has the wig. There's the dog. So let's use the dog off item here. Oh, and the dog left the room, so I think we wasted that. Oh well. I do have an Ecto refresher item. I forget what it's called, but I do have it now, which saves you a trip from, to the dungeon. Oh, dog showed up again, but yeah, the dog will eat the food that you can leave for it with the one item. You dropped a lot of Ecto there. Where'd she go? It does cost you Ecto to go into items, so I've been kind of like activating stuff ahead of time, and that might not be the best strategy. Like here, yeah, like a good Ecto because she ran out of the room while I was activating an item. Back in here. Yeah, it might be better to like try to do that one at a time. Like she's already on very high fear level, so she's probably gonna run out of it after just one trap. I kind of had this issue the last time I played this, where the daughter didn't want to go to him that she could run out of the house from. Like she kept kind of like this, going back and forth between rooms. So maybe wise, get one of the other family members come back. Okay, so Vito's in here. Again, that's like my instinct is to like activate a couple of items at a time. That's really creepy. The skin falling off the guy in the painting. I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Ecto extra item. Save a trip to the dungeon. Yeah, if the dog sees it, he actually costs quite a bit of ecto power. Very unique game. I really, genuinely, really like this one. I think one issue is that you can't continue when you get game over. Some of the controls are a little janky. The biggest issue is actually with the controls. While some of the doorways can be a little tricky to get through, um, like it's hard to explain, but like the hit detection for some of the doorways is a little janky. Also in the dungeon scenes, you when you jump, you automatically jump forward, and that can actually like hang you up on some of these ledges. Um, like right here, I'll see if I can do it. Like if you jump too close to a ledge, you'll actually bounce off it and not go up to the level you're trying to get to. Um, so a couple control issues, minor ones. But yeah, overall, this is kind of I would almost say a hidden gem. Very fun game, fun premise, great animations. And again, they clearly had a lot of fun making this, and that really comes through. It's like best thing you can say, it has a lot of heart to it. It's definitely from a very different EA than the one we know now. Let's just say, I thought those bees killed him there. Okay, so there's that Medusa head kind of thing. Kind of have to fight occasionally in the second house. I think this is actually the daughter's room, even though we're still following the father here. You know? So now he's kind of stuck in the hallway here. I do have a super scare item. I kind of forget how that one works. that was kind of got hung up on. Dance fall down. Jumped out of his entire suit there. Alright, we gotta see what the pilot does. The head comes out of it. Uh, Keeps going back and forth between the same two rooms. Alright, back in the bathroom. Now, he just seems to not want to leave those two rooms, so that's with, I think I called him Timmy. His name is Tony. Hey, Tony. Hey, hey. Wanted to look up what the new item does. Oh, I guess the voodoo is like a fireball, not really attack, but your characters with it. I feel like there was the jumping kind of screwing me up a little. Alright, so what does that present do? I thought you just dropped it. Oh, you have to go into another room and then push a button on the map screen, explode it. That was that. Oh, A, B, and C. Rather strange way to use an item. Well, that did it. That did a lot of like scare quote unquote damage, so got a big refill from that present. Well, there it is. That's one of the controllable traps. You don't want to leave that room. Here for well, out of backed up. Fortunately, didn't take any real hits in that dungeon area. Run out. Seemed like the other kind of froze up the last time we were in that room. Theoretically, I believe this is a room that we run out of the house from. Oh, is he going for the door? Yep. Alright, we got rid of him. Alright. There's the door. Oh, what's gonna happen? Yeah, that wasn't all that impressive. Getting scared though. Good screen sound effects in this. which way did she go? I think she went to the living room. The room she can potentially run out of the house from. We'll do the painting again, so that's one of them. The house itself kind of reminds me of like The Sims 1. Even the wall cutouts. She's running out of the house. She's gone. So we have the mother and the son. So, her, I think, is in the kitchen. So if we can get her to go into the living room and chase her out potentially there. Doesn't want to cooperate for some reason. Yeah, again, the hit detection, especially on some of the suspect. Ah, there's that's what you run into sometimes with jumping in this. That's another thing that could be improved. The jumping in the dungeon scenes kind of bounce off the wall. Kind of getting low on health, I think, too. Well, kind of last minute, but we did get out of it. All right, so where? That's an oddly specific one. A mummy falls into the bathtub and then melts into a pool of blood. Probably use super scare present again. You have to go into the next room, wall up the map screen, and then detonate it by pushing all three buttons in order. Very strange. But you do get a big echo bonus when you use the present. Alright, so she's in the living room. So we'll get her out of the house. And then we have the sun left to win the second house. And again, there's four, I believe four houses total. I think the furthest I've gotten is the third one. Do it now. Lock. That's a big eye in it. Get her in. Yep, door's open. She's going. Nice. So, just clear the sun off, and we're done with house number two. This door doesn't seem to want to work sometimes. Oh, either. There we go. Come on, Timmy, Tony, whatever your name is. Where are you? There you are. That's pretty boring. I'm gonna go ahead and use the present. No bonus there. All right, where are you? What's following me? The dog actually drains your pretty quick. Yeah. And I don't have to stop following you. Ah. Oh, and I'm really dead. Well, deader anyway. I basically can't get hit by anything at this point. Not sure which letter it was, but I got one of the spells. Can survive this. I actually should be in good shape to rid of Tony. And, at least see what the third house looks like. Oh, wow. That was close. Alright, where is he? wall. Furniture. Well, he went in the living room. That's a good sign. Eventually get him to go out the door here. Head spins around like in The Exorcist. What items did I get? Yeah, let's go ahead and use this super scare, and see if we can scare him out. We get to the next room. There we go. Half screen ABC. Sphere level is. I think he's going. Yep, we got him. Your mother. Yeah, look at those rats run. That's one freaked out family. I assume that's what Polterguy sounds like. Don't go too far, you sorry suckers. Alright, and I'm what's his name, the friendly ghost. Careful there. Copyright lawyers are watching. Oh, some good. Like they moved to California. You and your rotten horde. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Oh, that was the star-shaped ecto that rarely shows up in the dungeons. That actually fully recovers your health in the dungeon parts. So that's good to get right at the beginning because I was basically dead. This item. Ah, I missed it. All right. Got that one. That one might have been. Yes, that might have been. Scare bomb. Ah, come on. Not sure if I actually got the D or not. That's nice. All right, who's where? Oh, that is like the mother's here. First, oh, next room while we were in between. There she is. Right. I will activate a couple traps here because she's starting. Got no fear. He's a maniac mansion there. Rodent falling into the blender. Out of the room. kind of missed what that did. No, I forgot. Yeah, go. Ooh, a Mondrian. See what that does. Huh? Oh, Twilight Zone theme, sort of. Legally distinct Twilight Zone theme, at least. I assume the couch does the same thing it did in the last house. Well, the zombie eyes I picked up. I believe that lets you actually possess one of the family members and them to steer another one. Oh, it is a different animation for the couch. Turned into like a sarcophagus. I think that's an outside exit. So got rid of one of the family members already here. Yeah, what was going? Not much out now, unfortunately. All right, well, up here. I like how his pants fell down there, but he otherwise didn't react at all. Yeah, I'd probably run if a bunch of creepy faces came out of a tree. Now the dog barking sent me to the dungeon. Couple of hits there. Kind of like got pinned between like that skulls that were flying out and the fist coming out of the wall. Yeah. See, this is an example of the jumping kind of working against you. Damage here. Ooh, Mm, mm. I guess that's the Polterguy dance. Alright, so Vito's pretty scared, so we should probably press the advantage here. We gotta do the creepy clown picture, right? That's scary enough on its own, right? Why would there ever be the flying head of a panda next to somebody's head? Bad. Uh, well, and I think that's yes. Ooh, home arcade. I guess that was Battle Zone. I don't think he reacted to that at all. I think this room I think has an outdoor exit too, so we might be able to get rid of Vito here. Yep, he's going. So we just have the kids left. Like Tony is down here. Uh, Sister's in the next room. Let's see if we can use the zombie thing on her and scare Tony. That just to see that in action. Hmm. Seem to be like hung up on her, so I did something wrong there. They're off of me, maybe. There we go. Little glitch there, I think, but that's all right. It happens though. And I guess we might as well press the kids bench. Amy here. We get the blog item out. We keep the dog distracted for a bit. I am running out of extra though. So pop that. Again, I'm not expecting that on the playthrough. I've never done this before, but to see how far we can get it. Long distracting item lasted about as long as the ghost bait in the NES Ghostbusters game. like a 19-inch TV on her desk, and I assume this is the daughter's room. Like back in the day, that was a pretty good sized TV. My first TV that I got for my 10th birthday was a 19-inch, and I thought I was the man when I got that. The 19-inch Emerson. I actually had it into college. It lasted a while. Not as long as the TV I'm playing on now, because this is like 20 years old. This is what I'm actually playing on right now. But yeah, I did have that Emerson in college. I do need to find a few like backups for TVs. I have two. I have this one, which is this is probably a 21 inch, I think, 21, 24, something like that. And then I have a little, I think, 15-inch one, which is actually the one I got just as a stopgap when the Emerson died when I was in college. Um, and that one actually, this one is a flat screen CRT. The little one is a curved screen. Some Zapper games only work with that one. But yeah, I'd like to have a bigger working. Not really worth done anything in this room yet. See what happens with the golf picture. But yeah, I'd like to have a couple backup RTs. That was a cool effect. You'd think she'd be able to run out of the house through the garage, but you don't actually see an exit. I think that one goes back into the house. It doesn't look like the garage door itself opens. Just let herself. That's great. Oh, out of Ecto. Yeah, they took a lot of damage in the last dungeon, so this one goes. Not well so far. I just walked right into those bats. Not one of the items. That might have been the whatever it's called, the or whatever. That's the like throwing item. Couple in there. Oh, that's damn rat dog. And she wet herself again. Get all the way over there. We been in that room? I guess we have. Ah, dog again. No, one right in the head there. Yeah, I think that's about it here. Yeah, yep, there we go. Game over. Oh well. Ouch, that dungeon is nasty, man. Like, all I wanted was some ecto, you know? Yeah. No need for them to go ballistic on me, whoever they are. Oh well, see you next time. So yeah, no continues, unfortunately, in this game. Um, yeah, that's it. Probably a good place to end anyway at this point. But yeah, very fun game. A lot of heart to it. Again, they clearly had a great time making it. 73,717. I don't know if that's a good score or not. But I did get through two houses and like half of the third. We chased off the parents in the third house. So yeah, that's more than half the game anyway. That's not bad for not playing it. And oh well. Uh, yeah, that's about all I have for now. We'll try to do another horror game, probably not before Halloween, but certainly not long after it at the very least. Um, but anyway, thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell if that's your jam. And I'll see you soon. Have a good night.